Hi, high school chemistry teachers. I'm Kendra, creator of ChemEd Solutions, and it's my mission to change the narrative of high school chemistry from yuck to yay by designing student and teacher materials that allow you to focus on what matters most, getting all your students to be confident and successful without the burden of using your personal time to do so. I support you by giving you my best proven tips vetted by thousands of students, parents, and case managers. So today's tip is from our unit on reactions and focuses on how to teach chemical reactions and what to expect of our students for assessing. So, with writing out reactions, it's something that everybody has to do. And classically, we assess students on looking at the formulas. And I'm saying, let's take a step back and focus on the words. So, chemistry is complex, abstract, and gets layered upon easily. Reactions are not immune to this, even though they lack the math. From a student's perspective, they've recently just learned how to name and write formulas, and now we as teachers are asking them to manipulate those formulas all over the place. We ask them to create new ones and destroy the ones that they just made when we ask them to write formulas for the reactants. And this can feel overwhelming to our students, especially if they are not great still at writing chemical formulas. So, to help our students focus on key aspects of reactions while teaching and assessing, I have my students write out the names of elements and compounds instead of using formulas right away. So, I ask the students to first answer the question with writing out the names, and then under the names, I have my students write formulas in balance. This allows me to simply assess if they understand the pattern of how reactions behave, and then I will add in the layers of assessing for formulas of something that was previously taught. So, for example, what I will do is I will say, as the teacher, I'll say, well, sodium sulfate reacts with calcium to yield. And then what I ask my students to do is I ask them to write the reaction, but write it out in words. So, sodium sulfate reacts with, there's my plus, calcium to yield, that's my arrow, right? So they're still reading the sentence, pulling out the chemistry. And now I would have them identify, well, this is an element plus a compound, so it's single replacement. My element is a metal, it's going to kick out my other metal. And I would have them use the reactivity series for that. And then my products, if calcium kicks out sodium, well, then it's going to be calcium with sulfate and sodium. And most of my students can do this. They go, I understand how chemical reactions work. Now, where a good chunk of students get mixed up is if I were to just write this and then ask them to jump here. That's a pretty large cognitive leap of having them have to translate this here, because if they translate this incorrectly, well, they have no chance of getting the products correct. And then they also have to jump here. And what I'm trying to assess is, can they write out this correctly by looking at, do they understand how chemical reactions work? What's the pattern? So I would assess this and say, yep, okay, they understand chemical reactions. Now, can they translate them down to formulas? And then can they balance them? And when I assess for balancing, I see if they balanced whatever creation they made. Because again, can they balance? Not can they do it all in one step? So we can easily see that the student can determine the products for a single replacement reaction here. This is the new skill, and then they can continue to write formulas, an old skill, although again, some have not fully mastered, and then finally complete the new skill of balancing. And like I said, make sure they have balanced whatever creation they've made to actually check the skill. So my practice pages would look like having something like this. I would again, carbon monoxide decomposes, and then ask them to write out the reaction in words, and then from there, go ahead and do formulas. So again, something larger, magnesium nitrates reacts with sodium phosphate to yield, and then words, and then I would have them write formulas. So this is how I start. Obviously, as we get going, then I start to just give them formulas, and then my key there is, okay, if you're given formulas and you're still shaky with this, write their names above it, and then write your names of your products and go for it from there. So it helps our students, it helps them, it gives them another layer of support with chemical reactions, and has found to be really successful, especially for my full range of kids that I taught and still teach. To never miss a weekly teacher toolkit tip and get access to a PDF copy of both the teacher and the student version, so there is a student version of this that you can use with your students as well, sign up for my email newsletter at chemedsolutions.com/chemguide. In addition to weekly teacher toolkit tips, when you sign up, I have a few gifts just for you, including a high school chemistry course outline, pacing guide, unit checklist, and my personal teacher planner to keep yourself organized, less stress, and enjoying life. And if you want more classwork that goes along with this, or the notes exactly that I use, along with that freebie, you'll see a chance to get our full year's worth of notes for chemistry, a teacher version and student version, and additionally class worksheets, as well as another add-on. So with all of that, thank you and happy sciencing.